morning and welcome back to Questioning Sense with me, Matt. How are you doing? Sorry it's been a while. I think it's about 6 months since we last made a video, so I do apologise for that. Had quite a lot going on, obviously moved house, got a new dog, work change. So commitments have kind of had to take a bit more, I've had to prioritise basically. So making videos for a while has been quite a difficult thing. But I think we are in a situation now where we can carry on as we left off. Obviously not completely the same. We're in a different room. We have a different picture. And that's about it really. Yeah, it's just been a case of I've had so much to do, so we haven't really been able to make videos. But don't worry, I think I've got a plan now that will allow us to continue recording as we used to. Maybe not with the same kind of level of output, but we will certainly endeavour to do our best. Just so you know, although we haven't been making videos, I've still been avidly collecting perfumes, trying perfumes. My love for perfumery and riches is still very much to the fore. It's just been a bit difficult to make videos. I'm also filming with my puppy in the room, so she may decide to join the video. Hopefully not, because she is huge and it could be a bit chaotic. So she's asleep at the moment and hopefully she will stay that way whilst I waffle on about perfume. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at a new fragrance that's not been out for very long, and it's from one of my favourite houses, and that's Ormonde Jayne, and the fragrance in question is called Arabesque, and here it is. Now this is actually quite a remarkable fragrance for a number of reasons, but it's of personal interest because eagle-eyed viewers, or those that are familiar with the house, will notice that the bottle's changed quite considerably. This is a much heavier lead glass size bottle. The cap is changed in its size and style as well. It's incredibly weighty. The quality is ridiculous. This is beautiful. I love the colouring on this. But importantly, this is an 88ml bottle. Now, I have lots and lots of Ormonde Jayne fragrances, but I've never actually got 100ml. So all of the ones in my collection are these, which are, I mean, this is a very old bottle of rose gold, but these are 50ml bottles. And now they've moved up to the 88ml. Now, 88 is a very significant number for lots of reasons. Every sort of culture seems to recognise 88 as a really, really interesting number. And Ormonde Jayne have kind of, picked up on that and followed suit. So there'll be none of the big bottles, none of the small bottles. All bottles will be 88ml. So the prices will adjust accordingly. So the bigger bottles will come down in cost and the smaller bottles will come up. But there you go. It's a beautiful presentation. The orange boxes and everything else like that are still exactly the same. But there you go. So that's the presentation. It's stunning, stunning stuff. It looks amazing. It's really good to take photos of, and it all looks well and good. But the thing is, you don't actually wear a bottle, do you? So what's Arabesque all about? Well, Arabesque is a kind of a tour de force of the Middle East. It's a fragrance that's been inspired by all the beautiful smells and character from that part of the world. And what Ormonde Jayne have done is decided to design and make a perfume that reflects all of that. So we have a bit of an olfactory adventure off to far-flung exotic places and using all or lots of the materials that you would associate with that part of the world to make a rather exciting perfume. Now, interestingly, I've picked this one here to use as an example of bottle size, but it's no coincidence that I've picked rose gold, because rose gold is one of my favourite ever rose ouds, probably my favourite. So when I realised that Arabesque was going to be a rose oud, I was obviously really excited, but also a little nervous, because honestly, rose gold is so good. Was Arabesque ever going to live up to that? Which one would I prefer in the long run? And the answer, I've had Arabesque for quite a while now, and I've given it plenty of wearings. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll notice I've featured it quite a bit. And that is because it's absolutely to die for. I'm so happy with this. I think it's equally as good as rose gold, and in time it may even pick this to my number one rose oud. And for me to say that, I have a lot of rose ouds in my collection. And honestly, this one has gone straight to the top. It could just be that I've fallen in love with it. This is the honeymoon period with me and Arabesque. I'm not entirely sure, but I do absolutely find this fragrance stunning. So what we'll do next is, as we used to, we will go through the notes and then we'll have a look about, you know, who can wear it, where it can be worn, what it's like to wear, a little bit on performance. I mean, it's an Ormonde Jayne, so you've got no worries there. A little bit on performance, and then just sort of like, you know, a little bit about living with Arabesque. Okay, so the first thing we need to understand with Arabesque is, as previously stated, this is an olfactory trip to the Middle East to explore the smells that you would associate with that part of the world and that particular sort of part of culture. But what Ormonde Jayne have done is they always do this. They always stick to their DNA. So every single perfume I own from Ormonde Jayne, which is probably around 10 or 12 now, they're all, you know, you can instantly, they don't smell alike, but there's a DNA that runs through all of those perfumes that instantly allows you to recognize it as one from Ormonde Jayne. And Arabesque, although it's wildly different to a lot of them, it's still very much an Ormonde Jayne. So if you're a fan of the house, you're going to love it. So much so, if you're a fan of the house but you're not particularly enamoured with rose ouds, I would still recommend you try it, because it's a rose oud Ormonde Jayne style, and if you love that kind of DNA, chances are you're really going to enjoy this one, because it is incredibly wearable and it's incredibly polite, although it is pretty potent. So I think it's an exquisite perfume, and I think they've done a really clever job of how they put it together. And the reason why I think it works is because it uses so many materials, but the balance between all the materials is really perfect. So if we have a look at the notes now, you will start to get a feel of why I think this is such an important fragrance, and why I think it's going to have quite a lot of mass appeal, despite the fact it is actually at its heart a rose oud. So at the top you have saffron, and then you have blackcurrant and bergamot, punctuated with a little black pepper. So already you're starting to get an idea that this is going to be a relatively sweet perfume, which it is, but it's not overly sweet. It's not saccharine-like or anything like that. But you have the fruity elements, you have the blackcurrant and you have the bergamot, which give the fragrance, for a rose oud especially, a lot of freshness. Now, if you're into the genre, you will recognise that Stefan Humbert Lucas, Generation Black 2022, does a similar thing with rose oud and blackcurrant, but they do smell completely different. This is a very heavier, darker fragrance, whereas Arabesque is beautifully light and punchy, especially in the opening. Now, I am wearing it, but I'm going to spray it again, because there's the fragrance has various stages to it, and I particularly am keen on the opening. So this is always a bit of a treat. So yeah, the saffron, the blackcurrant and the bergamot, you will kind of pick that up as a sweet fruity melange, but instantly, despite the fact that oud being on the base, you'll notice it pretty quickly. So underneath those opening top notes, the fruits, you'll then have rose and you have jasmine, and I think the jasmine is really important because it pairs with the rose. So if you're not a fragrance lover that's particularly enamoured with really heavy dark roses, don't worry about that, because the jasmine lifts it. On the base you have oud, you have musk, you have patchouli and you have moss. Pretty standard fare, to be honest, but it works well. The musk is clean, the patchouli is defined, and the moss just kind of smooths everything out. A bit like a kind of an old school perfume. You know, everything that you wore in the sort of the 80s and the 90s had moss as a base, and there's absolutely no reason why, you know, you shouldn't continue with that. It doesn't make the perfume smell dated at all. In fact, the perfume does, like most Ormonde Jaynes, feel very modern and smells very modern in the air. But it's interesting, as I mentioned, you've got these fruits on the top. They're not, you don't think, oh, right, yeah, there's blackcurrant. Oh, yeah, there's bergamot. That doesn't happen. It's weird. It is a melange. You've got this fruity accord that's sweetened with saffron, but instantly you'll pick up on the oud. The oud is Western, all right? It's not skanky. It's not animalic. There's no sort of oud of barnyard or anything like that. It does absolutely represent a clean oud, and it's beautifully done. It's very polished. Okay, so it's a really smooth fragrance. As that fruity opening descends into the rose is quite sweet at this stage, but it's dark because of the oud, and the jasmine just gives that little chink of light that kind of lifts everything back up again. So as usual, with Ormonde Jayne, this is chock full of modern aroma chemicals, and they're all used to perfection. So if you're looking for an overly natural smelling perfume, it's not going to be this one. There are naturals in it, but they balance that with these modern aroma chemicals to give you the performance that you're looking for, and also just to link everything together perfectly. And it allows, you know, when you're using naturals and aroma chemicals, modern aroma chemicals, you do get, hang on. So the dog has decided that she's going to sit behind me. Fair enough. Okay. So when you use naturals with aroma chemicals, you get the best of both worlds. So you get the performance, you get the beautiful smell, and you get stability. So the perfume will, this ain't gonna. So when you use modern chemicals with naturals, so you know the balance of synthetics and naturals has been well debated, but together they work beautifully well. I've always said that I'm not that fussed about levels of natural or levels of synthetics. It means nothing to me. I'm here for smell and smell alone, with a little bit of performance. And thankfully, Arabesque delivers massively on both. It's a beautiful smelling fragrance. It's very airy, it's very punchy, it's quite dark, and then becomes light. It's airy thanks to the florals, and it's just so refined. Performance wise, it has an extremely strong sillage, so it's one that will definitely get you noticed. Longevity wise, it's excellent, and it projects pretty well too. So in terms of, are you getting value for your money in how long the perfume lasts? Yes, you are. Will you get noticed? Yes, you will. Will you have a positive reaction to it? I'm sure you will if you're wearing it in the right places and you're not overspraying it or becoming the cologne guy. So in terms of, you know, how it wears, I think it's pretty bloody good. Where can you wear it? Again, this for me is quite a grand fragrance. It's one that I think is best for special occasions. You could use it as a daily driver. I've got no qualms about wearing it to work myself. I think if you sat in an office, you could wear it, but you probably need to tone it down a bit because it is quite airy. And although, you know, sort of workplaces are becoming more and more on trend about, you know, tone it down. And I get that. You don't want to be sitting next to somebody who reeks of a perfume all day long that you don't particularly like. So, you know, if you are going to wear it to work, please do, but, you know, tone it down. Because of the fruits and because it's quite a nimble perfume, I think it works well all year round. It's beautiful on a cold morning. And we had quite a few kind of warm days when it arrived, and I wore it on a warm day and it was lovely. It was all enveloping. It felt amazing. I felt very luxurious, and I felt, you know, everything kind of felt a bit like a special occasion. Just going to the shop now wearing Arabesque felt like a special occasion. So it is one of those kind of more regal perfumes that I think you will really enjoy. It could be considered as feminine leaning. I don't think it is. I think this is a completely unisex. Completely unisex. I think anyone can wear this, any age can wear it. It would take a braver, more confident youngster. The thrusters will have to be on the top of their game to pull this one off because it has a kind of a regal, mature vibe to it. But, you know, as I've always said, you know, you wear the perfume, don't let the perfume wear you. If you're confident wearing it, then you will enjoy it. I can't say enough good things about this. I think this is a stunning addition to my collection. I'm really happy to have it. I'm very grateful for the brand for sending this one over. I've been a long time admirer of Ormonde Jayne, and as I say, I've personally collected lots and lots of fragrances from them, so I'm really happy with it. There is a discount available for my subscribers, for mine and Rich's subscribers, which we will put up on the video. So if you want a 10% discount, then please use my code and you will get a 10% discount off Arabesque or any other Ormonde Jayne fragrances you wish to purchase. So in closing, this is a wonderful fragrance. This is a fantastic addition to the house. I absolutely love it. It captures, it does exactly what it set out to do. It wanted to capture the smells of the Middle East, and by crikey, it's done it. It's done it in spades. So we're back with a very positive review. Thank you so much for your patience. We do really enjoy putting these videos out, and we love the support, and I do apologise to all of you, especially someone called Lee who keeps asking when we're going to be making our next video. Well, it's here now, and this will be the first of many. So good to be back. Lovely to see you all again in a kind of a weird way, and we will see you soon on the next video. So cheers, thanks, and